Part number 2, grinding on Yom Tov. We mentioned previously that Melachah of grinding applies to both edible and non-edible substances, but again, that comes from the ground. Grinding of non-edible substances is forbidden on Yom Tov, just as on Shabbos, because this is not activity related to food preparation. So it's a brilliant, in my mind, it's a brilliant explanation. One line he explained all the differences. So again, on Yom Tov, you're allowed to do whatever you need to do for food preparation. So this chunk of mud that's stuck to your right to the bottom of your pants, so it's not going to qualify. Okay. Therefore, our discussion of grinding will focus exclusively on grinding edible foods products. Okay, no problem. Continue. Grinding foods is by definition act of food preparation. Therefore, it should be similarly subject of the general permission to perform Melachos of a Chol Nefesh on Yom Tov, right? So, which is like we said many times, whatever you need to do in order to prepare food, you're allowed on one hand, but on another hand, we also said if our sages want us actually to enjoy the Yom Tov. And it's like you're very strict with your kids because for their own benefits, not for you. Like, what do you gain? I mean, okay, you gain, but it's many times for their own benefits only, right? So same is here. So our sages say, no, I want you to enjoy the Yom Tov, and even though you're allowed to cook on Yom Tov, but we said. Sages say if it was possible to do it before Yom Tov and you're not negligent, you did not leave it on Yom Tov purposely, right? So you're actually not allowed, right? So you're not allowed to do some Melachos. So they say, but still it's for Yom Tov, you would be allowed to do it in like an indirect way, which is not convenient, of course. Okay, but it's going to be reminders to us not to do it. The actual halacha, however, varies from case to case. In certain circumstances, grinding is totally forbidden, while in other it is permitted only if the Shinui, the unusual manner. So the Shinui, we said it's, I think that the better word is deviation from a regular practice, is employed. In order to better understand the various classifications and perspective underlying principles, we will divide grinding in the following 4 categories. Okay. So on one hand, as we said, it is permissible, right? On another hand, just one second. So we said, actually, let me read one more time. We're going to explain. The actual halacha, however, varies from case to case. Depends what you're going to grind. As we said, maybe if it was possible to grind it before. In certain circumstances, grinding is totally forbidden. So we'll see like what circumstances. For sure, preparation for the next week, so that's or even the next day, it's not allowed. While in others, it is permitted only with a Shinui, so deviation. So it is allowed, but since you could have done it before the Yom Tov, so now we have to do it with a Shinui, which is uncomfortable. In order to better understand, so we're going to split in 4 classifications. Okay, A, grinding that is totally forbidden. B, grinding that is permitted in the usual manner. Okay, so I mean, okay. C, grinding that should be done prior to Yom Tov. Right, so as we said, nothing you would suffer. Right, and D, grinding that must be performed in unusual manner. Okay. So let's do A. So it says grinding that is totally forbidden. Food that is originally ground in a large scale may not be ground on Yom Tov. Even a small quantity. For example, it is forbidden to grind grain into the flour. So grain into the flour. So I would say maybe it's just one second. Today, especially today, we don't have hand mills. Some people have electric mills, right? So you can have like a attachment on your mixer. Something, so you can have a grinder, but most of people not going to grind. Okay, we just buy the ready flour. Okay, continue. Okay, so flour, like wheat flour, barley flour is forbidden. Okay, no problem. So that's clear, because usually nobody grinds just a little, because I guess it's waste of resources, especially if you have to go somewhere. So nobody's going to go there to a mill, commercial mill, and give them 1 pound of grain to grind. That's my guess. B, grinding that is permitted in a usual manner. Okay. There are 3 groups of foods that are permitted to grind in a usual manner Yom Tov. So now we're talking in a section that everything is permitted. Number 1, foods that do not grow from the earth, which may be ground on even on Shabbos. So the best example, I would say, this egg salad, right? So there is like a slicer or whatever for eggs. So you do it one way, another way, and it's like perfect pieces. Okay, so if you want to do it, no problem. Or I would say maybe even shred cheese or something. Actually, not shredders are not allowed. Okay, but on Yom Tov it would be allowed. Okay, so if on Yom Tov would be allowed. Continue. Number 2, foods that are previously ground, which may be ground on Shabbos. So that's very interesting category. So it says foods that were previously ground may even be ground on Shabbos. So meaning what? That you can, it's not a good manner. Don't do it. Kids do it like crumbled food, like bread or cookie or something. So even though you take the, let's say, cracker or something. So you have a cracker, and it is dry and it's big, and then you like play with it. So you, sorry, you reduce it in small pieces, right? So in some sense, even without special instrument, but you grind. So definition we said, from a big piece you reduce into small particles. But since this flour was ground already, like when they were making what is it? They were making flour, right? So it was ground already. So then it was baked into bread goods or cookies, whatever. So when we grind this, what was ground, there is no problem. So that's, I think it's the best example. And then number 3, foods that deteriorate if ground in advance. Let us examine let us examine each of these 4 groups. So like some foods, for example, if you start cutting avocado in small pieces, like much in advance, so it's not like a day in advance, it's not going to work out very well, right? Or some other examples. Okay. So, and now we're going to go into all these 3 categories in details. So number 1, foods that do not grow from the ground, from the earth. As stated previously, any food that is not product of the earth is not subject to Melachah of grinding. So neither on Shabbos, neither on Yom Tov. So we're good there. Therefore, on Shabbos as well on Yom Tov, one may cut, slice, or chop meat, such as chop meat, poultry, eggs, fish, and cheese in usual manner. So in even usual manner, even in small pieces. Okay. A grater may be used for this purpose. Okay. So in this, okay, so I was hesitant to say grater, so, but he said it is allowed. On one hand, it is muktzah. Like, but if you need it, I guess if you want to have a daily meal on Shabbos for whatever reason, and you have something like hot pasta or something, and you want to like grind cheese, there is no problem. So you would be able to take this grater. However, when the grater is used to grind this type of foods, a Shinui must be employed, unless the food deteriorates. Okay, see page 78. We're going to get there. See below for description of unusual methods. Okay, so I would say maybe upside down. I mean, it's very inconvenient, but it would be allowed. Continue. Number 2, category number 2, grinding previously ground foods. So that's our cookie, right? A food that was once ground finally, and was then reconstituted into a salad. One is permitted to grind and grind it again. The rule is known as there is no prohibition against grinding something. 1 second. That was previously ground. Okay, so let's try to understand this rule. So one more time. So I mean, exactly as we said about the cookies, about the bread. So even though it was ground before into flour, they reconstituted into cookie, into bread. So we can crumble the bread or cookie. Okay. Don't do it, but it's not. There is no respect. You have to respect bread and all of the misogynist products, of course, as well as other foods. Okay. Likewise, it is permitted to crumble matzah. A grater may be used for this purpose even without shinui. Okay, so grater meaning it would be allowed without shinui. I'm not sure. I think it's dangerous to with the matzah. Just do it by hand. So what is it? What is meat? So you have a chicken soup, for example, and you want to crumble matzah into your soup. Of course, some pieces going to be big, but some there are going to be some tiny pieces, right? I mean, it's unavoidable. So they say there is no problem. Why? Because it was reconstituted from something that was ground before. Number 3, foods that deteriorate if they ground in advance. Right. So okay. So let's see what is an example. Any food that will spoil or lose a lot of taste if they're ground in prior to Yom Tov may be prepared on Yom Tov in a usual manner. So meaning our sages were very, very reasonable, even though they were trying to protect us from ourselves. But here, I mean, you're not going to enjoy, like if it's a 2-day Yom Tov, right? And the avocado was cut 3 days ago. Okay. Unless there is, I don't know, there is special secret way to preserve it. Okay. So continue. One may use special implements, such a grater or masher. Okay. To grind, so to mash something, it's actually also in this, it's going to be in this category. Okay. We're going to get to it. Okay. They grind this type of food even without the shinui, right? Without shinui. A few practical application of this halacha would be as follows. Okay, so let's see. Bananas and potatoes may be mashed in their usual manner. So it is grinding. Okay. And next one, apples and other fruits may be grated with a grater that is in the usual manner. I mean, if you just grate your apple, I mean, for a few hours, maybe it's going to be good, but then it's going to turn dark, right, to brown or something. So of course nobody's going to eat. It does not look tasty. Okay. Next one. But actually I said it's not going to look tasty. But on the Pesach, we actually do in Haroses, and in Haroses there is apple, always apple, nuts and what is it? Red wine and some dates, I think. Whatever is it? So of course it is the color of this mixture is brown, but it's very tasty. So people don't pay attention. So this mixture we actually do it before the Yom Tov for 2 days, even if it's allowed. So next one, vegetables may be sliced into small pieces for a salad. So you have vegetable salad. Of course, I mean. This thing you cannot prepare much in advance. I mean, on the same day, yes, but before the holidays, no. Unless you're planning for a night meal. So, but for a date meal, it's going to lose the taste and appearance and everything. Onions may be chopped into very small, fine pieces. Okay. Onions may be chopped. Okay. Any questions on what we said on these 2 categories? We'll continue.
Hello?
Yes, yeah.
Well, I have a question about grinding, generally speaking, not about these 2 specific categories. May I?
Yes, go ahead.
So, based on this prohibition, would it be prohibited to step on dry leaves on the street?
No, you're not doing it purposely. You're not doing it purposely, and it's regular way of walking. So the similar question, the similar very popular question is asked. So, for example, if you have Eruv, so you can carry, right, and you have baby carriage, right. So you have a baby carriage, and of course, and you have to go on the ground, not on pavement, on the ground. So it's going to leave the mark. So it's going to press the earth down. Let's say it's after the rain. Just make it easier, right? So they say it's not Melachah of plowing, right? So that's like plowing means improving the earth, right? Because it's a normal way of doing things. She did not have intention. She just wanted to go from point A to point B with the baby. That's it. She did not have intention to improve the ground, right? Or sometimes people fortunately, women have like heels, like pointy heels. So if she's going to walk on the ground, she's going to make like a hole, some small holes from the heels, right? So also it's not considered to be plowing, even though that's how you plow, right? But since it's not the intention, there is no problem. Okay. Got it. Okay.
So that indicates that it's when it's like inevitable. But let's say we want to do it like intentionally because I don't know, the right pleasure from cracking those sleeves. That would be a problem, right?
Exactly. So I have exactly the same thought. So when we were little, so I like to walk over the sleeves, right? And especially after some I don't know 6-7 days when it was sun, no rain, so they very very dry. So you derive pleasure from the sound when you step on it when you're a little child. So of course for adult it would not be allowed. So if you're just walking and let's say it's you can go on asphalt or you go on the ground and it saves you time, so we're not going to stop you. You can walk, and of course you're going to step on the leaves. There is no problem, because again it's not your intention. You just try to save time to cut the way. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.